It's a case of dropping down the bank there and trying to find somewhere to stand, balance the tripod, balance the camera, and not disappear off down the burn. I have given the car keys to Corin just in case.
So many years, too many tears on your pillow, on your pillow. Out of the darkness, a sign. It all seems so heartless.
Morning everyone and welcome back to the vlog. I'm in the stunning Glenlyon and you may have remember, if you followed the vlog, you remember a little while back I was here doing a comparison between the Nikon Z7 and the D850, and while I was here I mentioned that it would be absolutely stunning to come back in autumn time and capture those beautiful trees up behind the bridge, and you can see behind me it really is quite stunning. Now Glenlyon's a beautiful place to come at autumn time because there's such a diversity of trees, but you do get a lot of the birch, which gives that a beautiful orange copper colour, and you can see behind me that it really does help punch out those colours. Now there's been a little bit more rain than I'd like. You can see behind me that the falls coming down are quite heavy. We've had a storm that came through fairly recently and we've still got a lot of water coming off of the hills, but I think it's still going to make a beautiful scene with those beautiful trees up behind. And I'm really looking forward to then exploring down further into the glen to find some stunning autumnal scenes. So anyway, but let's get started. Let's see if we can capture a beautiful shot of Packhorse Bridge.
Don't you wait until the morning light, the morning light. Far away until you're out of sight, you're out of sight.
So I'm trying to find a good location really to get myself in a position that I can catch some of that falls. There's a little bit more detail behind the bridge, but this rock is incredibly slippery, I guess, with the rainfall and some of the mosses that are on here. So it's a little bit tricky getting over here. What I want to do is get a nice view under the bridge, but make sure that I'm looking up at those beautiful trees as well. So I think perhaps moving back a bit might give me a little bit more scope to work with. I might work my way back and put on the 70 to 200mm lens so that I can get in nice and close. I really want to capture some of the falls that's just in front of me here before you get to the bridge, just to give a little bit of detail and interest in the shot. Make sure I've got the waterfall behind, make sure I've got a view under the bridge, and to make sure that I've got those beautiful autumnal trees up behind. I love a challenge. I'm definitely going to go for a portrait shot, I think, for this one. It's quite overcast and grey at the moment. There's a little bit of drizzle. And although that bridge is absolutely beautiful, I think that it's going to look quite dark and dreary in this light. So what I want to do is perhaps make a little bit more of the waterfall. I'm shooting up a little bit up into those trees with that stunning copper colour coming through, really to give it that sort of autumnal feel. And I think by doing this, I'm making more of the actual falls themselves by shooting portrait, and also less of that bridge, but it still makes a nice feature in the image. Now, as I mentioned before, there's a small little waterfall that sort of just cascades off just this side of the bridge. So I'm going to make that sort of part of my foreground interest. Although there's a lot of water coming down there, so I'm not going to get a huge amount of detail in it. And then looking up is really just going to help to give that little bit of extra sort of stretch on the waterfall, and looking up into those trees. So anyway, I'm going to set the 70 to 200mm camera lens up and just see how that looks.
Don't you wait until the morning light, the morning light. Far away until you're out of sight, you're out of sight.
So I'm really struggling with the light a little bit here. We've had some rain just a minute ago. Now the light's coming up to the side. It's really a little bit of a mad panic just to try and capture that light while it's coming through. But anyway, let me show you what I'm looking at on the back of the camera. So you see on the back of the camera there, I've got that small waterfall just to the front of my scene there, just coming out from underneath the bridge, just to give it a little bit of foreground detail. Then we've got the arch of the bridge. Now, slightly more cropped when you're in video mode, the aspect ratio, but I've got a little bit more of that bridge in my final image. And then we've got that cascading waterfall coming down with the trees up around it. Now, I would have liked to have put a polarizer on to knock back some of that light, but I don't want to slow up my shutter speed too much because I want to make sure I've got plenty of detail in that water and it's coming down quite fast. So anyway, what I'll probably do is I'll probably bracket for this one so that I've got plenty of detail. I'll probably take a couple of exposures, one for the water so that it's not blown out on that small falls at the front, and then one for the bridge so that I've got plenty of detail in there. It's quite possible I'll be able to get it all in one image, but anyway, let's, while that light's good, let's take the shot. I'm also going to take a landscape shot of this, pop on my 24 to 70mm lens, because I really like the trees that are on the outer sides of this bridge. I've got some nice branches coming in from the side here and also some more splash of colour. Anyway, I'll take this, but let me know in the comments below which you prefer. Do you prefer the portrait shot or do you prefer the landscape shot? So I think that I've made the most of the light that I've got there. The sun tends to go behind the hills a little bit, behind the bridge. So anyway, I've got enough shots, so I think I'm gonna head on down the glen and see if I can find some more beautiful autumnal scenes. So Glenlyon's approximately 25 miles long, running from east to west, and it starts off in the beautiful small little village of Fortingall and heads west to Loch Lyon at the end there. And it really is a beautiful glen that tends to get overlooked because it's slightly off the beaten track. But once you get down here, you're absolutely bombarded with this autumnal colour, thanks to the beautiful beaches that run through along a lot of the roads down through here. And it really is a splash of colour at this time of the year. So anyway, let's keep heading down the glen and find some more beautiful scenes. So I think this is going to be an incredibly difficult shot. We've just come over the bridge here, and this burn comes down through under the bridge, but it's a real drop down the other side. Now, there's two things to this. One is obviously it's incredibly difficult to get down, and I'm not going to know unless I'm down there to know whether I've got that shot. But what is nice is very few people are probably going to have dropped down in there to get the shot. So if it does work out, it'll be worth all the hassle. It's a case of dropping down the bank there and trying to find somewhere to stand, balance the tripod, balance the camera, and not disappear off down the burn. I have given the car keys to Corin just in case. And anyway, let's go down and see what we can find down there. Now I've put on my polarizer and set the camera up really pretty as much as possible because I'm not going to be able to take my bag down there, and I'm certainly not going to be able to move about too much. So I've put on the polarizer, set up the camera on the tripod, ready to go. So that was an absolute challenge. When I got down there was this only one piece of rock to perch on. I managed to set up the tripod just to be able to give myself a bit of a nice view of the rocks on the foreground there, but could barely move. So I probably should have taken the wider angle lens. I had the 24-70 on, but maybe could have done with a bit wider view, but there's no way I'm going back down there again. It was hard enough to get. So anyway, let's hope it was all worthwhile. If it was, here's the shot. Now I came along this trail to capture two stunning twisting beech trees that I photographed a few times before, just behind me there, but you can see I've come up and one of them's been taken down. And I think that just shows you that it's really important to take images while you're there. It's easy to sort of say, oh, I'll come back when the light's better, when there's a bit of fog in autumn time, whenever it is. But you know, you just don't know. Nature brings it down in the wind. Somebody comes down and chops it down. I'm sure they had good reason, but I'm really fortunate that I've been able to come up here and take that image. And anyway, here's that shot. But what I am going to do is capture those beautiful beeches on the left-hand side, or right-hand side as you're looking at them, that are just tucked up in there. Now, they have had some of their branches removed, but from this low-down position, looking up at them, it really is a beautiful scene. Now, what you've got is you've got some pines that are letting in a bit of dappled light behind, which almost looks a little bit like fog. And then we've got these stunning splash of autumnal colour with these strong beech branches coming up behind. And it really is a stunning, a real picturesque scene just perched up on the hill there. So I think by taking it low down and looking up into those trees, we might get a good shot and try and eliminate some of the branches there that have been taken down. So what I'm going to do is, I really like this group of birch trees over on my left-hand side here that are just capturing the light. So I want to really sort of make those my main focus, but I also like the way that this birch on the right-hand side, that's just the one that's left, really does create this beautiful tunnel up over my view. Now this bank here, unfortunately, I've tried climbing up on top of there, but you lose that sort of tunnel view through. We've got these soft pines in here. So unfortunately, I do have this grass bank, so I'm going to wait for that patch of light to sort of disappear behind the clouds just to soften the light a bit. But I really love the way the light comes down through these pines and give it a little bit of a misty sort of feel. So I'm going to take that shot with my nice arching beach on the right hand side there, but then I'm also going to just swing the camera around and really just hone in on that beautiful group of beeches on the left there, capturing the light with their leaves. Unfortunately, just around here where some of the branches have been felled, but you know, it's a beautiful scene, so we've got to take it while we're here. Anyway, let's take both those shots and let me know which you prefer in the comments below. So I just spotted this beautiful scene looking back down across some of this bracken into the distance a little bit there. Now we've got a little bit of rain, which is giving it an almost sort of misty feel to the light. It's really softening it. So although we've lost a lot of the colour, it actually has got a real nice, soft, delicate feel to it. Now the wind's just got up, but let me just show you what I'm looking at on the back of the camera. So we've got this pine on my right-hand side with a silver birch behind it, which is really nicely framing the image. And then we've got the silver birch on the left, which is really just giving it a nice bit of balance. And then right in the distance there, we've got the silver birches, which are really just sort of beautiful, soft light. As I say, it's not strong autumnal colour, because of where the light is, and there's some haze through there. But it really is a nice, soft, delicate scene. And we've got that bracken, which has got some beautiful sort of mixture of colours where it's turning. We've got some coppers and some greens and some yellows. So anyway, I'm shooting on my 70 to 200mm lens, and hopefully I've just got enough reach just to capture that image behind. Here's the shot. So I think that's it for this episode of the vlog. I'm definitely coming away with a couple of life lessons here. One is, make sure you give your partner the car keys if you're going to do something dangerous, like climb down a bank and photograph the waterfall, so that you don't leave them out in the middle of nowhere. And the second one is, always photograph the scene while you're there, because you just don't know if it's going to have changed when you come back the next time. Whether somebody's chopped it down, whether the winds have brought it down, who knows? Just come away with that image. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. And that's it. Look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.